Hello everyone, welcome to Yesterday's Tomorrows. Let me show you how you can just take some scrap wood and turn it into some beautiful home decor. Alright, so I'm just taking the scrap wood and I'm just painting it in a light gray from All Paint Products. You can use any colors you want, whatever color is going to match your home decor. I'm just using gray, and so I'm just painting it gray. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do some crackle finish. So I'm just taking plain old Elmer's glue, Elmer's school glue, and just pouring it onto my piece of wood. Now remember, the thicker the glue you put on, the bigger the crackle that you're going to get. So I'm putting it on thick because I want my crackle to really show. I want it to be thick. If you put a thin coat of glue on, your crackle will appear finer and smaller, if that makes sense. All right, so you want to dry it, but not dry it all the way. Only dry it so it's tacky. If you dry it all the way, you will not get the crackle finish. All right, so right now you can see it a little bit, so that means it's just tacky. All right, so I'm just taking a white to put over it, and I'm using Waverly Cashew. All right, so now we're just putting it on, and I think it needs a little bit more drying. I'm just going to dry it just a little bit. I always get afraid it's not dry enough. All right, so now I'm just pouring the paint on just like that, and you want to go in just strokes. You do not want to go back and forth over your glue, or you're going to ruin the crackle finish the way it comes out. All right, so just go over it. The least amount of strokes you can do for your paint, the better off it's going to be. All right, so now you're just going to dry it. And if you can see when I'm drying it, you can see already the crackling starting to appear. And I just love this part of it all, watching the magic happen. All right, so I see it starting to crackle, and I'm loving it. And you can see the gray popping through in the crackling. So can you see the crackle is pretty thick there? And that's because I put my glue on thick. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to do some stamping. This is a stamp. It's an IOD stamp. It's called Queen Bee. And I'm just taking black ink. Mine is Redesigned with Prima ink. You can use whatever ink that you want. This is just plain old black. I like to use ink that's waterproof. So this Redesigned with Prima is, but you can use archival ink, any ink that is waterproof. All right, so you put your stamp down and you just press it down just so you make sure that all the stamp is being pressed down into your paint, so you get a really nice finish. And then there we go. Look how cute it came out with the bee and the crown. And now I'm putting on a really, really pretty vintage inspired transfer by Redesigned with Prima. And I just love the way the roses go with the crown and the bee. All right, so now I just folded it just so I can make the creases so I know exactly where I need to cut it. If you wanted to go over the edges, you don't have to cut it. I wanted mine to be smooth on the wood. All right, so now I'm just putting my transfer down using my handy-dandy transfer stick that comes with the transfer inside the container. And I'm just giving it a good rub. And once you rub it, you want to start lifting it off from one end. And you don't want to rip it off like a Band-Aid. You want to go as slowly so you make sure that your transfer is down pretty securely. All right, so if you lift it up and you see a part of the transfer that didn't stick, you just place your plastic down again, give it another rub, and it'll stick down for you. See where I'm looking right now, it's not sticking, so I'm placing my plastic back down and giving it a little bit more of a rub, and there we go. And now it's starting to come off just like that. All right, so you might have to just give it a little bit more of a rub when you do the crackle finish, because you are putting down a couple of layers of paint and glue and stuff like that. So there we go. It's coming off, but just do it. Just remember, go slow and easy. Don't rush the process. You do not want to tear your transfer. But look how pretty that comes out. I think stamping and transfers are a match made in heaven. I just love the way that comes out. So now to finish off the project, I just like to finish it off by taking the same ink that I used in my stamping and going around the edges of my project, and I think it just finishes it off. Now look how pretty this is by just using some scrap wood, some stamps, and some pieces of transfer that you have left over, maybe from some other projects. So there it is. Enjoy.